Hi, this is Mike Holland with Bishop House Consulting, and I'm here today to talk to you about 360-degree feedback surveys and how they can help you really understand your leadership impact within the organization. So to start off, let's paint the picture. Typically, your review comes from your boss. He's the big guy or big girl standing up there, and they, from their own perception, tell you how they think you're leading within the organization. This is pretty typical. But actually, within the organization, you sit among other people. You can see on this organizational chart with the little smiley face there. These other people are all the different stakeholders that see and know different things about you from how they perceive your leadership. So you have your peers, you have your employees below you, and you have your boss above you. You can see on this graphic with you in the middle how really this is where the 360 comes in. You're the hub of the wheel, and these stakeholders are all around you, and they have that ability to give you feedback from how they perceive your leadership. What's most important is for you to see that you want feedback from your employees as well as from two different groups of peers. One group of peers are actually those who work for the same boss as you, right? But you also have peers in the organization who work for other bosses and have a certain perception of you and how you lead. And it's important to get all this information to help you understand really as a leader the impact you're having. Now, the kind of feedback you're going to get, the best case scenario is you get it in an anonymous way. That can always happen depending on what tool you use. But ideally you want to have the stakeholders have the freedom and the openness to be able to provide that feedback to you in a way that will help you, in a way that might be a little critical. But you're really looking for the impact you're having as a leader. And from two perspectives. One, you want feedback on those behaviors that you're exhibiting now the most of. So they see you doing most as a community leader, being very communicative. But you also want to see, secondly, that what's the impact of the behaviors they want you to do more of. And this is where you can invest your time and energy. This isn't necessarily where you might be having challenges with certain behaviors, but it's what they want you to do more of. So you might be doing something that's very inspirational as a leader, and they want you to just keep turning that dial up and keep doing more of that leadership style because you're having a positive impact. What's very important is looking at that contrast and comparison among the stakeholder groups for these different behaviors that they see. So you can see where you can turn dials differently among those groups and really question yourself as to why they see me differently in different lights. So the tools you can use, on the cheap, you can use surveymonkey.com. It's free for 10 questions and 100 respondents. You can grab some information off the internet and some good questions to ask. That's a great tool to use, and you can keep it anonymous that way. You can also use, if you have Outlook, you can use the voting and tracking mechanism to get some feedback. You can even resort to using emails, sending random emails out to people on your team and your peers and getting some feedback from them. Invest a little bit of money. You can invest in the tool, the Everything Disk 363 for Leaders, which is what we use, and we obviously recommend. You can go on our website and take a look at a sample of that. But it's a great tool that gathers that information in a more formal way. iPhone and Android have apps that will help you gather some information. Some of those apps are really your self-perception of how you see yourself as a leader, but you can also use them to get some information. And probably the highest level of money you could spend is bringing someone in from the outside to actually interview these stakeholders. Sit down with them for an hour or so, 8 to 10 to 12 of them, and actually get that information. That's a big investment. So before you get there, you want to make sure you're heading down the path and want to be able to get that information. So let's go back and just recap. You're really looking at the perception of your behavior. So for a 360, you're in the middle, and you have your stakeholders around you that you get information from them. That's your boss, your employees, and two sets of peers. You have the peers that work for you under the same boss and the peers that work within the organization that aren't under the same boss. And you're looking to get information on how you're behaving today as a leader and where most of your leadership impact is coming from and where they want to see more of from you in the future. That's all we have for today. We thank you for listening to this, and lead well.